AI is not a new thing. AI, the term itself is like 70 years old, and we have different waves of AI coming in at different points in time. That's AI very heavily draws from different disciplines, statistics, computer science, pattern recognition, data mining, etc., etc. A false positive, which is that the machine has predicted something to be a positive and it's actually a negative, or a false negative when the machine or the algorithm, that the decision rules that we made, they have predicted something to be false, to be negative when it's actually positive. So these are the two red of which we are able to, because like of the confluence of these forces, we are able to crunch a whole bunch of data and find patterns, which are decision rules, and then use those things to automate tasks, automate workflows, business processes, which previously required human intervention. So that's the theory. So what happened in this case was that the system has been trained to identify and stop for pedestrians. The vehicle adjusts its speed accordingly or brakes. This system, the system, the autonomous driving system, has also been trained to identify cyclists. So it knows what to do if it sees cyclists. But in this case, there was a pedestrian who was walking a bike. They were not like riding the bike; they were walking. So the system didn't know what to do. It didn't stop. So that there was a fatal accident, and that person is no more. So we can't use it 100% reliable ways because it's stupid in ways that we can't always predict. You would have seen this when using, say, ChatGPT. Sometimes it gives you brilliant answers, sometimes it doesn't. So the latest model of the latest OpenAI most powerful model that probably took $100 million to develop is called O3, which reasons. And this is a puzzle that it couldn't solve. So this is an example. So till very recently, they fixed this in recent models, that we asked ChatGPT to count the number of times the letter R appears in strawberries. As you can see, it says that, okay, there are 3 R's, but you could bully it to say there is only twice or once, etc. So are you going to use this kind of a system in the legal system?
Sir, I had a question. So you mentioned that with respect to AI, there is this concept of human subjectivity that we're trying to cover so that any gaps are covered in that sense. But then, sir, as a law student, I have a question that there is a concept of morality that concerns laws. And then do we think that AI can actually learn said morality?
Fantastic question. So right now, what is happening in the industry is that these decisions are being made by default. Are any lawyers or any philosophers or any sort of experts in this area that you're talking about, theories of morality, theories of social contract, they're not involved in the building of the AI systems currently. It's just those Silicon Valley technologists who are building those systems. There is, some amount of people building guardrails, etc. So the first thing is to actually be aware and to say these are the things that can happen. For example, swastika is a holy symbol. It doesn't raise any outcry in India. But if you ask one of those things that are sort of developed AI systems that are outside of India to create a swastika image for you, it would refuse. So this is a clash of cultures, clash of worldviews. So I want to leave you with one concept of the T-shaped lawyer. So broadly, the idea is that to be successful as a female model, you need to have long legs, which is the I model. To be successful as a male model, you need like broad shoulders. So that's this horizontal bar model. But a T-shaped model is like you have depth in a specific fields and you have breadth in a lot of fields. So think of as you make progress in your next few years in your career, etc. How can you be a T-shaped lawyer where you have depth in specific areas of law, as well as you have a whole bunch of other broad skills? And I think the good part of being in schools like BITS Law is that by design, the curriculum addresses a lot of these things. It trains you not just for just the depth of legal knowledge, but it also gives you a whole bunch of other skills that you would need to be successful in the era of AI. So that's one of the things that I wanted to share. And I hope all of you become T-shaped lawyers with AI being a big part of your T.